When were you most afraid or intimidated by a role, and how did you overcome it?
I think you're always kind of excited at the undertaking of a new role, a new movie, and I've done them for so long, and a lot of us have here, that you're not nervous. There's like butterflies, but it's not it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go down in flames. It's not that nervous. But this was the first time in a long time that I was actually terrified to do that opening number, which I suggested. Of course. So it was my fault that I was there to begin with. It wasn't written in the script. It just says Ramona finishes a final flourish, and then me and Destiny meet. And I was like, no, she's like the big, kind of the money maker at the club. She was this person. I played a stripper in this movie, and I was like, but she has to show why. Like, we can't say it. We have to do it, right? I have to dance on the pole. I have to show them. I have to go there. And even though that's scary, and in my mind, I was like, it's going to be scary, but then when I was there and I have the dental floss on and, you know what I mean? And I'm out there, like, in a way I've never been, it was so scary. It was so terrifying. I was literally, like, for the first time in years, like my heart beating out of my chest and going, oh my God, I'm really nervous. I'm really scared. And I wasn't smiling like I am now. You know what I mean? I think when I first started, one of the things that I wanted to do, because I was Puerto Rican, Latina, was that I wanted to be in romantic comedies. Because I felt like all the women in romantic comedies were always looked the same way. They were always just, they were always white. And I was like, there's never anybody. If I can do it and just show that I'm every girl, because I am the hopeless romantic. I am the single working woman. I was those things. And that's one of the things that you asked earlier, like, did you make certain choices? And I remember thinking, like, I need to be the lead in a romantic comedy. I need to do that. I have to do that. And that's one of the things I went for. And that's one of the things me and my agents talked about. Like, can we find me a romantic comedy? Yes, I've done, Selena and Mi Familia, and people are taking notice, but what can we do where I can change that, do that, be that,
Yeah.
Because that's not what was happening.
Right.
So this is many years ago now.
Right.
I like to think it was yesterday, but it wasn't.
Do you feel the culture around nudity and sex scenes has changed in the way it's discussed now and the choices you would make yourselves as actresses?
I don't know. I think it's a personal choice. I've always felt like that's a personal choice for anybody. I don't judge anybody for doing it, for not doing it. You take a role, you decide what you're going to do, you discuss it with your director, you see if it serves the story and the character in the best way, and then you have a choice to say yes or no.
You spoke about how early on in your career you were asked to take your top
I didn't
off,
want to.
And you didn't.
I didn't want to. Oh, you're talking about more of an early personal.
Oh, that was not a.
A director at a fitting asked me to take my top off.
Not for the movie.
To see.
To see
because
what?
I was supposed to do nudity in the movie.
Oh, they wanted to see your breasts?
He wanted to see my boobs. And I was like,
what they looked like before you?
Yes.
That is crazy.
Well, he was crazy. And and
oh my God, who was it?
And I said no. I stood up for myself. But it was so funny because I remember like being so panicked in the moment, like, oh my God. And by the way, there was a costume designer in the room with me.
Yeah.
And so there was another woman in the room with me, and he says this, and I was like, no. Luckily, a little bit of the Bronx came out, you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't have to show you my... No, on the set you'll see
you were
them.
like that, though, because not everybody would feel that way.
Yeah. That's the thing, because you give in that moment, and all of a sudden, that person's off and running, right? Thinking they can do whatever they want. Yeah. And because I put up a little boundary right there and said no, he laid off, and then later on apologized. But the minute he walked out of the room, the costume designer was like, I'm so sorry that just happened. And I was like, thrown for a second or whatever. But that was...
is not okay.
Well, then no, I'm not supposed to get naked before I get on camera. And I take it off at the last minute. Like, I know this stuff. And so, again, it's like teaching, passing it down. And what's happened now is a big lesson for all women, right? It's like, no, these things are okay, these things are not okay. And it doesn't matter what context it's in. It's
and you get to have a
never okay to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And as you said, the light is on now,
Yes.
both in what feels comfortable and how to set boundaries, but also in calling someone out.